Good afternoon to you. It's the Joel Natale Show, live from this rainy Fifth and State corner, our Kingdom Financial Group studio here, as the skies have opened up and it's pouring downtown. And we are doing a Wednesday health focus here. We're getting caught up with our friends from the Site Center of Northwestern Pennsylvania. Lana Kunik is with us here. She is the director of the Diabetes Prevention Program for the Site Center. Lana, great to see you. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks. I'm happy to be here. Love a good talk radio show.
Well, you like talk radio? Really?
I do.
That's awesome. This is what we do.
Yes.
Right? So we're talking diabetes, and I think it's always helpful to remind folks why the Site Center is like all in on diabetes prevention. Talk about all that.
Yeah, I'm happy to. Well, I'll just start at the beginning, but not way back in the beginning, because that's 87 years ago. So our agency has been around for 87 years, and we have carried a powerful mission. And that mission is to prevent blindness and promote independence with those with vision loss and those who are blind. And we're able to achieve that by offering a variety of really impactful programming. And I just want to talk a little bit about our programming, and then I'll tie in why the Diabetes Prevention Program is at the Site Center. So we do have something called our transportation services. This is a low-cost door-through-door service where we take clients, so those with vision loss or those who are blind, we take them to what's considered necessary appointments. So that would be doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, bank visits, things like that. And really a part of that that's pretty awesome is that our drivers, first of all, they're amazing, but they develop a relationship with our clients, which makes them feel safe, and they have that familiarity. And they are escorted from their home to the cars, into the grocery store, the doctor's office, and back. So that's a really unique service that we offer. Yeah, I love it.
Transportation is one of those basic needs that seems to be really difficult to cover. And so if you are, visually impaired, can you imagine how much harder that is to cover that, right?
You got it. That's exactly right. And maybe a little fear behind that too, getting in an Uber or a taxi or whatever your mode of transportation is. So we also offer support services, and that's where we have a case manager who goes into the home, does mail reading, helps them with bill paying, maybe helps them with their low vision tech and education, which is also an extremely useful service. And then one of my favorites, services that we offer at the Site Center is called our Wednesday Club. And it really is more of a social opportunity for our low vision community, but also it's social, but it's educational. Our Wednesday Club meets twice a month, and we do everything from cooking with them, taking them out to lunch. We have speakers coming in doing presentations. So it's education. It's also addressing that factor of isolation.
Oh, absolutely.
So they're gathered together as a group. They're dealing with some of the same issues, and they're having fun together. And then aside from that, we have eye health education for adults and children. We have preschool vision screenings, which we do in all 7 of the counties that we serve of our service area. And then lastly, we have the National Diabetes Prevention Program. A lot of people ask why. Why do you have diabetes prevention at the Site Center of Northwest Pennsylvania? And simply put, diabetes is the leading cause of vision loss in the United States amongst the working age. So, when we brought this program to the Site Center, presented it to the board, it really was a no-brainer that if part of our mission is to prevent blindness, why not have a program that addresses the leading cause?
I want to pick up on what you said in folks with that are working age. Mm-hmm. And so you're literally seeing people getting a diagnosis of legal blindness before 65 in many cases?
Sure, and yes, and a slew of other vision problems as well. And it's, just to be clear, if someone's listening and they have type 2 diabetes or diabetes, they can live completely asymptomatically. So you can live without any vision issues and any of the other health complications that go along with diabetes. But what you need to do is learn to control your diabetes. And we'll talk more about that when we get to that. But yes, diabetes puts you at higher risk for many things, and vision problems is right up there with them.
And again, I think it's been explained to us where the diabetes really attacks the capillaries, and the capillaries are the thing that makes the eye work, right? That seems to be the big issue there, right?
Correct. And that's with uncontrolled blood sugars. Yes.
It's almost like you're throwing glass chips at your blood vessels or something like that.
That's a really good example of what that would look like.
That's kind of graphic. I apologize. You know.
No, but I mean, it hits home. People can probably visualize that happening.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So really, again, when you have the Sight Center, you have a mission of preventing blindness and mitigating the conditions of visual impairment. And so, you know, who is the diabetes prevention program for? I mean, is there something that you can do, or you can get a diagnosis? What's the entry points to join the program?
That's a really good question. This is a national program. Let's start with that. It's national. Every state in the country offers this program. It's evidence-based. So this isn't Sight Center curriculum that we're using here. We're monitored by the Center for Disease Control for quality. And part of the requirements to qualify to enroll in the program is that you either have something called pre-diabetes, which it's not talked about a lot, but I've been in this business for 13 years. And when I first used to meet up with the physicians and I would say, hey, you know, can we talk about maybe you referring to the diabetes prevention program? I've had physicians say, well, pre-diabetes doesn't exist, or having pre-diabetes is like being a little bit pregnant, right? Now, this was 13 years ago.
Oh my
This
word.
is 13 years ago, but now with, you know, first of all, with this evidence-based program, the proof is in the pudding that you can prevent the onset of type 2 diabetes by attending a lifestyle change program that I'm speaking about. Fast forward to now, 13 years later, and a lot of footwork and a lot of education. The Sight Center's National Diabetes Prevention Program is at a 63% physician's referral rate.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So to get into the program, you have to either have pre-diabetes, so that's when your blood sugar is elevated to the point where you're out of that normal range, or but not yet high enough to be considered type 2 diabetes. So it's called pre-diabetes.
So what? Just to be specific, what kind of A1C do you guys call pre-diabetes?
5.7 to 6.4.
Okay.
So 5.7 to 6.4 for an A1C, and if you have a fasting plasma glucose test, it's 100 to 125 is considered pre-diabetes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. So pre-diabetes, but you don't have to have pre-diabetes to qualify for the program, but you do have to have a body mass index, a BMI of 25 or above.
Which is a lot of people.
Which is the majority. A 25 BMI isn't, I mean, that's not really that high.
Right.
And BMIs are really, a lot of people get angry at that measure because they feel like it's not really accurate. But at 25, a BMI of 25, you are at higher risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So that is another qualifying factor to get into the program.
I think we talk a lot about these metabolic. I mean, that's what we're talking about here is metabolic disease, right?
Yes, absolutely. And to be considered to fall in that metabolic disease category, you have to have that elevated BMI, like we're talking about, so have some weight to lose. A lot of the times high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And this is another kind of icky part, is a waist measurement over 36 inches. So that can put you in that
I'm sorry.
that metabolic range. This program,
do you want half of Erie County to come knocking at your door? That's really not fair. That's not fair. I'm sorry, but
yeah,
36. I remember 36.
Right.
I think I was in high school.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, and it's just a baseline. It's a baseline to get you into the program. But say somebody comes in the program with a 55-inch waist. If by the time you graduate the program, you complete it, you're down to 48 inches, that's still a huge improvement, right? So,
I mean, you think about, not to go crazy, but you think about like losing 20 pounds. That's like 2 10-pound bags of flour.
Right.
That's massive.
That is.
And 20 pounds could be, somebody's, 7 to 10% of their weight.
Yeah.
Right? If they're 200 pounds.
Hey, that's
huge.
That's a really good segue.
I'm good at that.
You are. You think you've done this before. And a goal of this program, obviously, is to get those numbers, those prediabetes numbers, back into the normal range. But the number one, or not the number one goal, but one of the goals is to lose 7% of your body weight. So you got it. 7%, that could be as little as 12 pounds. And that's enough to push back that onset of type 2 diabetes or prevent it altogether, but also bring you off your meds. I mean, people are coming into the program on metformin, if you've heard of that, cholesterol meds, blood pressure meds, and that 7%, we're seeing pre and post blood work, and it's incredible. The progress, the positive progress that can be made from such a small percentage. It's not that daunting if you put it that way. 7%, I mean, that could just be getting a little more movement in and cutting out liquid calories. I mean, there's ways you can do that where you're not completely depriving yourself.
I love how, can you explain what you mean by liquid calories?
I've just learned in the years of doing this that a lot of people don't realize that what they drink counts. So,
I mean, they think that an energy drink is really good for you, right?
Right. Well, we know that is not the truth for many reasons, but yes.
We're gonna get the answer to that after the break here. We got Lana Kunik with us here from the Site Center. Stay with us. It's the Joel Natale Show. And if you have a question for her, you can call or text 814-679-1080. We're talking to Lana Kunik. She is from the Site Center of Northwestern Pennsylvania, and we're talking about the National Diabetes Prevention Program offered at the Site Center. And you were talking about, we were trying to get an idea of how easy it is. Well, I shouldn't say easy, but how even like liquid calories.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, whether that's an energy drink or a, you know, even like a Gatorade or, and then of course sodas.
Yep. Yeah.
And again, you're not a nutritionist, but you work in this field. A lot of people think that the Coke Zeros and the Diet Pepsis are a big part of that, but you know.
You are correct, and let's go back to Gatorade.
All right, sure.
Because a lot of people drink Gatorade because the electrolytes and all of that. If you're drinking a regular Gatorade, I don't know offhand, but I think it's something like 40 grams of sugar in a regular Gatorade.
My goodness.
So take note
That's more than a donut.
Exactly. And people view Gatorade as a health food. It's kind of like a healthy, like medicine almost. Keep this in mind. Every 4 grams of sugar is equivalent to 1 teaspoon of table sugar. So if you eat a yogurt with 8 grams of sugar, just in your mind, be visualizing that's 2 teaspoons of white sugar. And then apply that to a Coca-Cola, to a Gatorade. I've done health fairs where I have like Bud Light, right? I think Bud Light has 5 teaspoons of sugar, 4 or 5 teaspoons of sugar in one. And I have people say, well, that's not bad. I mean, that's why you drink beer. I always say, who only drinks one beer? I mean, it's very rare if you're drinking one.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you have to multiply that by however many. But working with our clients over the years, when we look at, first of all, in this program, you journal your food. So you write down what you eat, what time you ate it, all of that. And what we find is a lot of the calories are empty calories. So they're nutrient lacking, but they're really heavy on the calories and sugar. And that applies to the Gatorades, the energy drinks, the sweetened coffees that people are drinking. So let's talk the flip side, like those Coke Zeros that you brought up.
Yeah.
So this is a difficult topic because if you have diabetes, your doctor may be telling you if you're going to drink soda, you're not going to want to have the real strength, right? The real sugar. But for someone with prediabetes, you're not in that type 2 diagnosis range. So just keep in mind that when you're drinking that Coke Zero, your body doesn't know that that's a fake sugar. So your pancreas is still doing its thing, trying to bring down your sugar, but it's not elevated because it's not truly sugar. It's either stevia or sucralose or whatever it is. And what that causes is a dip and a spike and a dip and a spike in your blood sugars. So it causes you think you're being good drinking the diet whatever, but really it's causing you to be hungry and not be satisfied because you're having those ups and downs in your blood sugars.
Well, that's an amazing tip right there because, again, I mean, there's just so many people that rely on those diet drinks. It's astounding. So much of this diabetes prevention program is diet approach, but also movement, right?
Correct. So it's a lot diet. What we set, the goal that's set on in this evidence-based program is 150 minutes of movement per week. So that can equate to 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. But we always say, going to a grocery store and kind of leaning on your basket and walking slowly, that's good. That's still movement, but that's not heart health movement. So what we're looking for is where you are walking with a friend and you can still talk to that friend, but you couldn't sing. You couldn't hold a note because what we're looking for is a change in breathing, which indicates that your heart rate is elevating and that you're getting that heart up into that heart health range.
Okay. So again, there's even quality movement versus just plain movement, right?
That's right.
What do you think as far as, again, specifically for diabetes, is strength training a good option for folks?
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes, resistance training is actually built into the program. We recommend 2 days a week that you're doing some sort of resistance. It doesn't have to be powerlifting or these jerky movements, but even just resistance bands. And there's been studies done where someone wears a continuous glucose monitor. Are you familiar with those?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So right now they're really cool. They hook up to an app on your phone and you can see where you're at 24/7 with your blood sugar. They're showing that just eating a meal, standing up and doing 10 air squats, which is body weight resistance, is enough to take your blood sugars down, right? So imagine if
That's shocking.
It's shocking, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
Because it's not overwhelming. People can do that. So yes, weight training really does help stabilize blood sugars. And also back to walking, one of the best times to go for a walk is about 20 minutes after you eat. Just go for that walk. And if somebody's wearing a continuous glucose monitor, check your blood sugars. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at how just a meander around the block can really help control those blood sugars.
So, but you want that heart pumping when you're walking, right?
Yes, for sure. And
That's
sometimes it
interesting.
doesn't take much to get it pumping.
No, no. I mean, couple trips up and down the stairs for the laundry
Yeah.
will get you going a little bit sometimes. It is again, we're talking about preventing diabetes, and what concerns me is, are you seeing diagnoses much younger? When I was in my 20s, I was Slim Jim, because basically I was working in radio and barely having money for 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
There was the poverty diet. But these days, the proliferation of the processed foods, there's just a lot of overweight 20-somethings, isn't there?
Yes, and right now the statistic is 1 in 4 adolescents have prediabetes, which with studies show that if that 20-year-old that has prediabetes continues living that same lifestyle, doesn't make any lifestyle changes, within 5 to 7 years he or she will develop type 2. 1 in 4 adolescents have prediabetes. That's absurd. That's scary. And the process,
that's a health crisis.
it is a health crisis. And the part you said about the processed foods, the convenient foods, that's right up there for reasons connected to this increase in prediabetes in adolescents. But what else? What else aren't teens and young adults doing anymore? Quizzing you.
I would imagine that they're not exercising.
They're not moving.
They're not moving. They're playing their switches, right?
Their switches. They're watching YouTube shorts. All of it. So the lack of movement, the increase in processed food, really has wreaked havoc on our youth, and it's very, very scary to me as a mother of an 18-year-old child. Just to think, gosh, he could go to the doctor and possibly be told he has prediabetes if we're not on top of things.
Right.
So we need to move more. We need to show our kids that movement is important. So instead of us sitting on our phones, scrolling at night, maybe eat dinner, go out for a walk. I mean, it starts in the home. And then when those adolescents are out on their own, hopefully you've built a foundation for them so that they understand that health is important and that it's really easy to fall from grace when it comes to your health.
There's so many different things that the culture leads on. I mean, we have pop stars. We have, we love football. We love sports and things. And you would think that health and fitness could catch on. I mean, even like bringing back the presidential, what was that called?
The President's Challenge.
The presidential challenge, right? I mean, it seems like this is stuff that we should be doing to make sure that our kids are thinking about being healthy. All right, Lana Kunik is with us here. We got to go to the bottom of the hour news break here. Again, if you have a question for Lana, if you have a question about diabetes and the work of the Sight Center, give us a call or text us at 814-679-1080. 814-679-1080. It's the Joel Natale Show live on YouTube and Facebook, and of course on the radio, 105.9, 103.3 AM 1530. Stay with us. Lana Kunik is with us here at the Joel Natale Show, live from our Kingdom Financial Group studio here at 5th and State, also live on YouTube and on Facebook. We're talking about diabetes prevention, the National Diabetes Prevention Program at the Site Center of Northwest Pennsylvania. Let's remind folks, Lana, like entry points. How do people get involved? Do you need a prescription to join your program here?
You do not need a referral. This can be a self-referral. All you would do is call the site center and just inquire about the program, and we would go through some intake information. If you were a good fit, we would fill you into one of our, or fish you into one of our cohorts. And I'll say a couple things. We are in Erie County. We're highly saturated in Erie County, so we have lots of programming. Nobody's on a waiting list more than 6 weeks, and that's long. We typically try to strike while the iron's hot. So if you call the program, you're struggling, or call the site center, you're struggling to maintain a healthy weight, or your doctor's told you have prediabetes, high blood pressure, give us a call, and the first step would be to come to something called a discovery session. And you would meet your potential class, your potential coach, and we would do a deep dive into the program so that you would know exactly what to expect if you committed to this program.
All right, and then what is required of you to enter this program? You know, what's the time commitment, cost, that kind of thing, you know?
The commitment is the biggest thing. This is a 12-month program.
12 months.
Yes.
Wow.
So the cadence of the program is we meet weekly, we fade into bi-weekly, and then we end our program at once a month check-ins. And at first, people are saying, I can't commit to that. I say, just come. Just come and start. We're not holding you there against your will. If it's not for you, then leave, right? But what we're trying to do is reverse habits that likely were developed in childhood, and you can't do that in a few weeks. If you are a stress eater, okay, that's something we address. If you're someone that when the going gets tough, you get going to the fast food joint, right? Yeah. That's not something that we can just say, don't do that, and you're going to do it. We do something called cognitive restructuring, and that really comes with repetition and coming to the program and learning things over and over and over again until it sticks. And that is why this program is so successful. So the commitment is that 12-month lifestyle intervention. As far as cost, luckily, we have been granted some funding. So we haven't had anyone needing to pay out of pocket for quite some time.
Oh, wow.
Right. So that's something that I was really excited to come on here and talk about, is that opportunity to come in under like a sponsorship or a grant funding. But if you have prediabetes and you have blood work within the last 12 months that states you have that 5.7 to 6.4 A1C, then insurance covers this program, which is awesome.
That is really awesome.
It really is, yes.
And again, like, what should you be asking your doctor, before starting this? Or should the doctor be saying, hey, you need to look at this National Prediabetes Program?
Ideally, the doctor, we would love it if the physician or the clinician would do that. But you have to take responsibility and know your numbers. Okay. So when you get that blood work back in your portal or you get it in the mail, open it up and look for A1C. Look for
Does everybody get an A1C like on an annual basis?
I don't think everyone gets one. I think you have to be of a certain age or have family history like you had reported. Yeah. Then that kind of flags the physician to order that. But likely anyone over the age of 40 should be getting an A1C in their annual blood work. So if you look at that A1C and your doctor doesn't say anything and it's a 5.7, in between a 5.7 and a 6.4, you need to start taking notice, because you can prevent type 2 diabetes. You can. So, there are the non-controllable factors. That's genetics. Those are things you can't control. Is your genetics, your ethnicity, your gender. Males are at higher risk, and your age. Those things can't control. But what you can control is your lifestyle. So if you know you have prediabetes, your doctor tells you see it in your blood work, get into a program that can support you, change those lifestyle behaviors, and prevent a chronic illness that really can snatch away your quality of life.
Yeah, it seems to be one of those things that it has cropped up in the last 10 years, where now it's reached crisis pandemic levels, yet we don't have people, from the national scene saying these are the things you must do.
Right.
I mean, it's interesting. When we were in COVID, how many directives did we have from the White House all the way down? Mm-hmm. And now you have an actual emergency where people are dying of metabolic disease and not a whole lot being said.
You hit the nail on the head. I mean, that we're saying that all the time. Right now in Pennsylvania, it's estimated over $9 billion in diabetes medical costs.
Yikes. Just
in Pennsylvania. 11% of Pennsylvanians have type 2 diabetes.
11%?
11%. That's a crisis. 34% of adults in Pennsylvania have prediabetes. So that means that within 5 years, if they don't take action, I mean, it's bankrupting our country. So it truly is, it is an epidemic.
Yeah. Let's talk about a couple other lifestyle issues that go along with this. How important is the sleep factor when it comes to controlling your sugar there?
It plays a vital role. In the program, we actually do cover curriculum that talks about finding your sleep number. So on average,
your sleep number.
So your perfect number that helps you feel physiologically well, but also mentally well, emotionally well, because we know when we're not getting sleep, we're irritable. We eat more because food is energy, and your body's saying you're tired, you need to eat, which affects blood sugars. And typically, and I know every person is different, but anywhere from 6 to 8 hours is considered an ideal sleep number.
And there's, quality levels of sleep too. I mean,
yes.
if you have sleep apnea symptoms, they need to be checked out and all that stuff, right? Another lifestyle thing is mental health, and I'm wondering how much of your curriculum enters into kind of mindfulness and just kind of staying in touch with mind. Me care, is that what they call it? Self-care.
I like me care too, though. I like that. The self-care. So we have parts of our program really dive in to, and we have to be careful with the mental health side of things. So the Site Center serves as a hub. So if someone is truly having a mental health crisis, obviously we're not experts in that field, but we have resources where we refer out. But as far as that mindfulness, that is top. That's one of the key success. One of the most successful keys is to be mindful. So we talk about the 80-20 rule. Have you heard of that?
No, tell me about it.
So, people in the Blue Zones, if you've heard of the Blue Zones project, which I love.
All those Italians. I like that they're Italians.
All those healthy Italians.
Yes.
They have their wine at 5 and an X, Y, and Z. But 80-20, it's eating to 80% full. Us as Americans, we typically eat to 100% full.
Right.
And what that means is in 20 minutes we're burping, we have heartburn, and we're snapping our pants, right? We're not eating to satisfied, we're eating to stuffed. So we talk about be mindful, eat to 80% full, step away, clear the table up, make a hot coffee, wait 20 minutes. It takes your brain 20 minutes to signal that it's full. Wait 20 minutes, and within 20 minutes, you won't be hungry for that second helping. You won't go and get that ice cream. So that's part of our mindfulness. And also tracking our food, it forces us to be mindful. So when you go into the bank, if there's Hershey Kisses there and you pop 5 in your mouth, you have to write that down, right? You have to show your lifestyle coach that you're doing that, and that really does help you realize.
You don't get free kisses on the plan.
No free kisses. We always tell our clients, if you don't report it, I mean, we're not your mother.
Right.
You only heard it
we're
yourself.
not your mother.
Yeah,
we just sound like your mother. No,
yes,
just joking.
Yes, and we really address why. So there's a lot of links in the chain to why we do what we do. So, and that's part of that cognitive restructuring, and that's a method used by Fortune 500 companies, by NBA coaches. It's really identify. So we say, name it to tame it. What's your big problem here when it comes to lifestyle? So name it. So example, my problem is nighttime eating. That's you're needing to tame that. What we do is we create links in that chain. So how are you going to successfully prevent nighttime eating? And we give out, we brainstorm as a group. One thing would be push your dinner back later. If you're hungry at 8 o'clock and you're eating at 4:30, that could be the reason, right? So we really try to address, not just say that's your problem, but we work together to try and come up with a solution so that you're able to overcome that issue.
Have you encountered, again, there's, I'm just going to talk to the men for a little bit here. Have you encountered that there are men walking around with severe metabolic disease and they have no clue about it?
Yes.
I mean, how many people just run to their doctor to get their annual screenings, right?
Yes, and I'm just looking. I'm cheating here because I couldn't remember the number.
Yeah.
In Pennsylvania, 303,000 people have diabetes and have no idea.
303,000.
And that's an ADA statistic, an American Diabetes Association statistic. They're walking around and they have no clue.
It's like a ticking time bomb.
Like a ticking time bomb. That's why, they're 55 years old. They have a stroke or a heart attack. A lot of the times it's from those uncontrolled blood sugars that have been manifesting in them for so long, and they have no clue. And I find it interesting that you say men. Right, you singled out. You singled out
because I
am
a guy, but I get it. Yeah.
But honestly, it is true. And starting this program, I was about at a 3% male enrollment. That's very, very low, especially when males are at higher risk. Now we're up in the teens. We're like at 15%.
Is that all? Huh? Wow.
Yeah. And the ones that are in the program, you can just see those light bulbs coming on. Like, hey, I can do this. But I'll be honest with you. I've had a lot of men come up to me and say, hey, I need this program. Can my wife take it for me? and the fact of the matter is no. You have to be accountable. You have to come. You have to partake. And you have to take control and do it yourself.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, you got to go get those screenings. You got to get the screenings for sure.
Yes.
It's about control. It's about, it sounds like a lot that we've talked about, Lana, but really it is just altered lifestyle. It's basically saying, hey, I can move 30 minutes a day. Hey, or exercise 30 minutes a day. I can, track of what I'm eating. I can move, get up and move around. I can stop the snacking at night. I can go to bed at a decent time, Let's talk about technology. Do you guys use watches and trackers and all that stuff?
We try to meet people where they're at. So, a lot of people, we used to give away the
Fitbit?
Not a Fitbit, but
the
pendulum swing, old school pedometers that clicked on your waist.
Yeah.
We gave those away, and those are so motivating. But as technology is progressing, most people do have the Fitbits or the Apple Watches. And the goal is that big 10,000 step goal. That's what we're asking our clients to achieve.
Okay.
But that's that's from someone that's 25 all the way to someone that's 95. That can be very daunting for someone,
sure,
who's of an older age. So we really get a baseline of where they're at. So they could be tracking on their watch. Okay, we're at 4,000 steps on average per day. And then we give them baby steps, smaller increments. So what's the saying? You don't eat the whole elephant at once.
Right.
Something like that.
Eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah, one bite at a time. So we really try and work on that with them. But we do use apps such as like MyFitnessPal for your tracking. We really try and make it more of all the free stuff so that they don't have to.
Do you have a calorie goal for movement? Is there so many calories that you want to burn through movement
in the program, we don't discuss that because nutrition is so complex and lifestyle change is so complex.
Because you know that the Apple Watch will track your calories burned, right? And you have a goal every day.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought that up. This is a public service announcement. If you were on a weight loss journey and you are tracking your movement on a Fitbit, or if you're entering your exercise into a MyFitnessPal, don't eat the exercise calories. Okay, so if you burn 600 calories at the gym, you don't think to yourself, oh, I can eat 600 calories extra today, because what that's going to do is keep you in maintenance. So you'll stay exactly where you're at until you hit your maintenance goal, so your weight goal. You just act like those workout calories don't even exist.
They don't exist.
Yeah, amazing. That's sad for a lot of people.
We're bringing our plane in for a landing here with Lana Kunik. What else do folks need to know? We've got about 4 minutes or so. Yeah.
Okay. What you need to know is that if you're listening to this and you feel like you fall into this category of someone who needs support to help you reach your wellness goals and prevent chronic disease, namely type 2 diabetes, give us a call at the Site Center. It's 814-455-0995. You can ask for Lana Kunik, and what I will do is I will ask you some easy questions, and I will give you the date for an upcoming session 0 or a discovery session. Come, meet us, see if it's something that you want to move forward with, and if you don't, no pressure. Just know that we leave you with calls to action. Yeah. So you'll leave with a better knowledge of how to take care of yourself than you did when you came in.
All right. This is going to sound mean and awful, but I'm going to do it anyway. What happens when you get diabetes related vision loss? Tell us about that journey. Because you've probably run into multiple people with that journey,
Sure.
Right?
I mean, the journey's different for everyone, but if you're running with very high blood sugar, so you're up in, like, if anybody's familiar with this, if you're checking your blood sugars, it's up like 300, 400, 500, high readings. It's attacking your organs, and our eyeballs are an organ. So it's attacking your organs, and diabetic retinopathy is the known eye disease, but having uncontrolled blood sugars leads to a slew of other eye conditions, such as glaucoma is one of the more common ones. And what that looks like is that can be diabetic retinopathy. Picture this: you'd be looking at your family member or friend, and it looks like you have a piece of Swiss cheese over your eye, right? Like lace over your eye. And if you continue to run at those high blood sugars, that lace, those little holes that you're looking through, they close up to where you can become completely black blind. Wow. So you really need to focus on lifestyle change, taking your medication as prescribed, and moving your body if you want to keep those blood sugars in check and prevent that.
We'll leave it there. Lana Kunik, again, she's the director of the National Diabetes Prevention Program at the Site Center of Northwest Pennsylvania. And if you have A1Cs over 5.7, this should be covered by your health insurance.
That's right.
Even Medicare,
Medicaid, and some commercial. And that A1C needs to be a 5.7 to a 6.4. Okay. If you're over 6.4, if you hit 6.5, that's considered type 2. So that's a different beast.
It's a different beast.
Different beast.
Thank you so much for taking the time, Lana.
Thank you. I had fun. Appreciate it.